but I was so happy and happy for him. He can fight anyone. He with that mentality, he can fight anyone and beat. And
Canelo Álvarez has finally shared his prediction for the Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero fight. Previously, Ryan hinted that Canelo had already expressed confidence in him privately, telling him he would beat Romero without question. Now, after watching some of Ryan's recent training footage, Canelo is doubling down and making his support public, stating that Garcia is simply the better fighter. According to Canelo, Ryan's speed, sharpness, and timing are on a different level, far beyond what Romero can handle. Despite their past public disagreements, Canelo is clear in his assessment. Garcia is walking out
Starts
victorious.
in boxing. So when got offered that, I said, okay, I'm the man to do it. After this performance, I'll submit myself as one of the faces of.
Ryan Garcia isn't seeing any humor when it comes to his plans for Rolly Romero. While he admits that Rolly is naturally funny and great for comic relief outside the ring, Garcia has made it clear that once the bell rings, there will be nothing amusing about what happens. He firmly believes that Friday night will mark the end of Romero's boxing career. According to Garcia, Rolly is already fighting on borrowed time, and this bout will be the final nail in the coffin. Brutal knockout that retires him for good and leaves people remembering him more for his jokes than
Too
his
much.
jabs.
Rolly's gonna give you everything you want. So kind of just gonna let the fight come to me, and then I'm gonna take over. I'm a better fighter all around. So I feel like it's gonna show in the fight.
Rolly Romero seems fully aware that he's not getting a half-hearted version of Ryan Garcia. He knows he'll be facing a fired-up, focused opponent. The same man who can make millions tune in with just a single Instagram post. During a recent conversation with Todd Grisham, Romero made it clear that he's happy about that, stating outright that he wants no excuses. He wants the best version of Ryan Garcia because he wants the win to be real, not followed by talk that Garcia wasn't. Shamaret. Romero understands he's in for an uphill battle, especially with the massive 9-to-1 odds stacked against him. But as always, he's leaning into the chaos. He continues to carry that bold, sometimes blind self-confidence that some admire and others mock.
I'm the most confident fighter in the damn world. I'm gonna always.
What's it take to beat him?
Gotta crack him, just, stay.
However, Romero is still Romero. His amateur record is a fraction of Ryan Garcia's. Garcia competed in around 240 amateur bouts, while Romero had only 35. His professional style is rough around the edges, almost cartoonish at times, and he's lost 2 of his last 4 fights by TKO. Sure, those losses came against elite opponents like Gervonta Tank Davis and Isaac Pitbull Cruz, but to many in the boxing world, Romero is known more for his outrageous comments than for his technical skill. Even he seems to recognize it on some level, once admitting that he doesn't worry about making a fight exciting, because, in his words, he is exciting by nature.
Against me, so I think we're going to see a good fight, but ultimately I'm going to knock him out.
At some point, especially against a fighter with Ryan Garcia's power and speed, excitement without fundamentals becomes a ticket to getting knocked out cold. The whole card is being hyped as an epic night, with Teofimo Lopez also fighting Arnold. Barboza Jr. and Lopez didn't hesitate to give his 2 cents on the Garcia versus Romero fight. Teofimo believes Ryan will stop Rolly late after dragging him into deep waters. While Lopez respects Garcia's layoff, he feels Ryan's talent and sharpness are simply too much. And really, how can you argue when you see the difference between the two? Garcia moves like a sniper, while Romero looks like he's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube mid-fight.
Obviously, he has that power. Ryan has that right hook.
Yep.
So, what do you got?
I got Ryan. Garcia.
All right.
Yeah, I just think that from that fight and since then, he hasn't been fighting for that long of a period and then being stopped the way he was. I think he might be changing trainers, or he might still be with Salas. But even then, but I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think Ryan needs to be careful with Rolly's punching power, because Rolly still got power, man. And
Some
definitely
pros still aren't completely sleeping on Rolly. As weird as his style is, it has an awkward charm that can sometimes freeze better fighters. Plus, he's got the classic puncher's chance. That old school hope that maybe, just maybe, he lands the one shot that changes everything. But that's a lottery ticket kind of hope. not a real strategy. And Ryan Garcia seems way too locked in for wishful thinking to matter this time.
It seems like most people have Rolly Romero losing to Ryan Garcia in the upcoming fight. At the very least, I think he truly has a puncher's chance. And you have Tank, who faced him, who is actually vouching for his punching power.
He can hit, bro. He can hit. He's the only person I felt like he's the one. It felt like Rick was in good. It felt like really.
Interestingly, this fight is about more than just titles or records. Oscar De La Hoya has made it clear he sees Ryan Garcia as the guy to take over the U.S. boxing throne from Canelo Álvarez. De La Hoya believes that if Ryan beats Romero impressively, then wins the planned rematch against Haney, and maybe even takes out someone like Jaron Boots Ennis afterward, he could become bigger than Canelo in America. That's a wild statement, considering Canelo, despite his flaws, is still boxing royalty. However, the truth is that Canelo's recent fights haven't been thrilling. He's been playing it safe, fighting lesser names, and it's making people look around for the next star who can make boxing feel dangerous again. De La Hoya thinks Ryan could be that guy because, love him or hate him, Garcia moves.
Rolly's a big puncher though too.
Yeah, he's a big puncher, but when I think about Rolly's Ryan, I think about De La Hoya and Mayorga.
Yeah, someone else had told me, Rosado had told me that he thinks the same way. Why?
Well, you have big punchers who throw, those are easy to block. All you gotta do is be calm, stay collective, and do your job. That's it. So I think Ryan, it's gonna be a fun, short fight. It's gonna be a fun 4-round fight.
This prediction is dripping with controversy. First off, some hardcore boxing purists think De La Hoya is totally out of touch. They argue that Garcia is an Instagram fighter who hasn't truly beaten an elite opponent yet. Beating Rolly Romero, a guy with technical holes the size of Times Square potholes, won't magically crown him the king of boxing. Some even believe De La Hoya is just hyping Ryan because he needs a star to keep Golden Boy Promotions relevant after losing Canelo from his stable years ago. Oscar has been desperate to find the next meal ticket, and Ryan, with his huge social media clout, is the golden goose.
And Ryan Garcia, look, he's coming off. It's going to be about a year now. He's hungry. He's hungry to get on top. He's hungry to...
On the other side, you have pros who buy into the hype. They say that if Ryan comes back from a career-derailing scandal, knocks out Romero, then avenges his loss to Haney, all while looking like the human highlight reel he was meant to be, he could absolutely become the next crossover superstar. Canelo may have Mexico and the hardcore boxing fans, but Ryan has the youth, the internet, and the it factor that sponsors and TV networks love. It's messy, it's polarized, and it's exactly the kind of conversation boxing needs right now.
Quick question, how's everybody doing? Haven't talked to you guys in a while. That everybody's doing good. Yeah, I hope everyone's having a blessed day. Rolly, we coming.
Quick question. How's everybody doing? I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Hope everyone's doing good and having a blessed day. Rolly, we're coming. My abilities are much better than his. I think he's going to come hard to fight, because it's a great opportunity and he's confident, so I think we're going to see a good fight. But ultimately, I'm going to knock him out, said Ryan Garcia to Ring Magazine. Garcia doesn't seem like a man expecting any surprises, just a man who knows exactly what's about to happen. When asked about Rolly's evolution since their old sparring days, Ryan couldn't have been more dismissive. Not really. I see him making the same mistakes, Garcia said, clearly unimpressed. He even pointed out something harsher, that Rolly's chin has gotten weaker over time. A brutal but honest assessment from someone who once shared rounds with him.
Many adjustments, to be honest. Still making a lot of the same mistakes, still kind of fighting the same. His chin actually looks like it's gotten
When asked about the probability of a knockout, Garcia didn't hesitate. Probability-wise, yeah, 90%. Commentator Sergio Mora sees the upcoming clash the same way, although he wasn't willing to call a clear winner. Mora told Little Giant Boxing that he believes both Ryan and Rolly are too explosive and too flawed defensively for the fight to last long. He emphasized that predicting the actual winner is tricky because both men have been hurt before. Ryan's last true encounter with a power puncher was back in December 2023 against Oscar Duarte. Since then, he's mostly faced lighter hitters like Devin Haney, who, for all his skill, has never been known for serious knockout power. Mora seemed to hint that Garcia might not be fully ready for a chaotic, heavy-hitting draw.
And rectify with his not only his style but his image. You know, he has to come back and prove that he can do everything without the issues that he had, the PED thing, whether it was true or not. So not only does he have to clean his image, he has to kind of convince people that he's still a power punching, fast, popular fighter that can do it on the big stage. And he's in there against a fighter that's going to give him other opportunities. And Rolly Romero. Romero comes to knock people out. You know, he has some holes in his defense. I think it's going to be a short, explosive fight where either of them could get hurt.
Mora didn't dance around what he expected to happen. When Ryan predicted he would get Rolly out of there by the 4th round, Mora said he would give it 5 rounds at most. That fight doesn't go into the second half. Too much firepower, too many defensive flaws from both of these guys, Mora said. He was confident that May 2nd will not be a night for drawn-out decisions. In fact, he predicted that every fight on the Times Square card will end by knockout, except for Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza Jr. Mora expects that one to go the distance, but still be razor close.